taking particular care to minimise contact with people outside of their household and to practice good, frequent hand washing.
Callum Ghosh reporting. Well, listening to that and joining me now is Rachel Matthews, Programme Manager with the organisation National Voices. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Jonathan.
What impression are you getting? How are people who, like me, have been shielding, how are they feeling about these changes announced yesterday?
Well, I think we're hearing very similar to what you had in your reports there, that our member health and social care charities and the people they represent, so for example, like Diabetes UK, Macmillan, they feel very ambivalent. And we've had information from our website, ourcovidvoices.co.uk, where people feel on one level very relieved because the extreme self-isolation exacts a heavy toll. But people are also really concerned about the vagueness of the new guidance, the removal of practical support, lack of employment protections and the contradictory messages about risk. So what we're hearing in the reports you just played is lots of very, very personal concerns about how do you manage risk, what are the steps you're going to take, and what is the government signalling now about how we are going to be, and particularly for this group of 2.2 million.
It's been weird, hasn't it, really? Because so many people who got a letter, well, have got a letter like mine that says, in fact, I got a couple of letters, actually, both apologising for arriving quite late, about 3 weeks after many other people started shielding, to say 12 weeks from today, shielding will be over. I think a lot of people took that as gospel. And now some people whose shielding is due to have ended or end in the next 48 hours are being told, oh no, it carries on until the end of July. So some people are actually rather confused and disappointed. Some people have been hoping to get back to work.
Yes, absolutely. And I think as an organisation, we have offered to work with the government to try and clarify some of those messages. And as one of our people who's contributed to that site has said, that at the beginning, the blanket guidance was appropriate at the start of the pandemic. But now as we're moving towards the end of this period, we need to think about it a lot more specifically and more carefully, the personalisation that will be needed around it. And
do you think we're going to get that? I mean, I've heard about people wanting to hear individually from their own doctors, because there are degrees within the shielding category. I'm probably quite a minor concern within the shielding category because of the drugs I take, but there are people with much more serious health conditions than me, and I suspect they actually want to hear from a qualified doctor, from a consultant. Are they going to get that, do you think?
Well, I don't think that's clear, and that's where, again, if people have got questions about what those mechanisms are going to be, they can contact us through our covidvoices.co.uk, and absolutely it's about how are we going to do that. And we want to work with people to make sure that those messages become much clearer and what is the best way to get that more personalised advice. Because as you say in the conference yesterday, there was a sense of don't all ring your GP this morning, but actually where are you going to get that opportunity to talk about your personal situation? So as an organisation, we're very happy to take on board some of those questions that people have, and we can bring that to the attention of policymakers and others who are working in this area at the moment to make that guidance much clearer, so people know what practical actions they can take and how they weigh up the pros and cons of what they're going to do with their family, their friends, their social life, and all the other things that go around that.
Please use your voice very powerfully on our behalf. Just very briefly, what's been the mental health impact, you think, on those people who've had to keep themselves extremely isolated for 3 months now?
Well, I think it's exacted a very heavy toll, and I don't think we understand fully what the consequences of that are going to be in the long term. So I think this balance between the shielding and then also the longer-term effects is very delicate, but I think it still has yet to play out, and I think your previous speaker, Steve Russell from the hospital, also talked about this in relation to his staff as well, that the sense of there's an immediate emotional response to it, but then that changes over time and everybody reacts in a different way. So the level of support around it does have to be quite nuanced. And as
Rachel,
you asked,
we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. But thank you so much indeed for joining us on the programme. Go and look on the internet for National Voices. Fantastically supportive organisation, can give you feedback, can give you support. We've got the latest news on its way in a minute or two's time. After this, it comes from Niall Horan. Get in touch with your experience of shielding, please.